Good afternoon, good evening to everyone. This is the first day of the year 2023. Here we are, Cassandra Shortte, who is the director and instructor of Cassdressmakers. And so, as Cassdressmakers, we want to reach out to you this day, the first day of the year. We want to just wish all our students, all the persons who have participated in Cassdressmakers, and all our well-wishers. We want to reach out to you and wish you a very prosperous 2023. Well, I'm here with Cass, and she is the one who has started Cassdressmakers Academy, which is a very successful institution in St. Vincent and Grenadines. And so I just want to ask Cassandra at this time to welcome you.
Let's see. Happy New Year to all who are listening. I just want to say, okay, I'm Cassdressmakers. On behalf of Cassdressmakers, I just want to thank the Lord for bringing us safely through another year. It was not easy, but I can truly say we at Cassdressmakers, we have weathered the storms. A heartfelt thank you to my supportive team. I could not have done it without you. Cassdressmakers, we were on hold during the pandemic. So for 2 years, we had no sessions. After the volcanic eruption, we were on hold. But the success of Cassdressmakers is not just because of me. I want to say special thank you to persons who have supported Cassdressmakers and helped us through the past year. Well, my husband, who has always been there, thank you. I want to say thank you to Shirin, that's Miss Wilkinson, for your support. Nadine Gibson, who I refer to as my event planner. Happy New Year to you, Nadine. God bless you. I want to reach out to Shem and Jason for Shem for her secretarial skills and Jason for his support. During the years, I would have added to this list, and this is the first year when Cassdressmakers, we lost our technician. That's Mr. Sim, Mr. Sandy, who we've lost during the year, and who had been a very support to Cassdressmakers. Most of all, from Cassdressmakers, I want to thank all the persons who allowed us to impact their lives. It is indeed a blessing to see the transformation that has taken place. And I know that when you enter Cassdressmakers Academy, there's this level of trepidation. What can we accomplish in 3 months? But I just want to thank all those who have allowed us to impact their lives. I want to wish you a very prosperous and a blessed 2023.
Okay, Cassandra. for the benefit of those who are listening and are hearing for the first time about Cassdressmakers Academy, can you please let them know what this institution is about, how it started?
Cass, how far back do you want it to go?
Well, maybe you can give the history of Cassdressmakers. Let them know how this whole thing started. What was in your mind when you started this?
The whole aim of Cassdressmakers is to give back. It's our philosophy that if the Lord has blessed you, that you should bless others. We believe that if you give, it will be given back to you, good measure, pressed down. So at Cassdressmakers, we believe in giving back. I'm trying to find it on.
Go ahead.
I am a trained teacher. I'm a retired teacher.
Yes.
I'm a born-again believer. I specialized in clothing and textile. I studied at the Arthur Lewis Community College.
Yes.
And then I went on to study tourism and hospitality at Mount St. Vincent University in Nova Scotia. And the skill I learned in dressmaking, when I get back to St. Vincent, I was not put to teach it. But I believe that we need to impact others. So what I've done, I started way back when I started a women's group. Remember IFWE?
Yes.
IFWE, Initiative for Women's Empowerment, which I held in my basement, and where I attempted to teach the women in my community the basic skill of dressmaking.
So this Cassdressmakers has a long history then?
A long history. I think when I started the first session, which I held in my basement, I think was about 1995. And I just the persons in my community. And it is not until I retired from teaching on the government service that I actually went into Kingston. And instead of doing it under the auspices of Initiative for Women's Empowerment, I simply renamed it Cassdressmakers. I just think to expand a wider.
Okay, so you've been in Kingston, and I believe you went into Kingston because you want to put Cassdressmakers at a national level. So you started in Kingston. How did you start in Kingston really? How did you start?
I never created like a business plan or that to get into Kingston, you know. It developed because of the demand. Right? And there was this lady. I retired, and there were some students. I think those first class then was from North Union Secondary School.
Yes.
Who reached out to me because they had the desire to learn. And I said, no problem, come around. And in that group, one lady's sister worked in town. So she could not come after work. It was too late. So she asked if I can have a session with her on Saturdays. I don't do sessions on Saturdays. But I decided to move out and reach out. I did it. And she went back to her workplace, wearing the garment she made. And everyone said, you have to get that lady into town. The rest is history.
Right. So you started at the Red Cross building.
Yes.
And so when you got to the Red Cross building, how did that start out? I mean,
you know, that first session, I actually went into town that one time to do because the ladies then, they're the ones who organize the session, they put the payment plan. So I was just going to do that one session with this group like Suzanne from Lanes and this group. I was just going to do that one session and move on. But so I said to them, if you get 10 students, 10 persons, I'm willing to do a session. I got more than 10.
So your intention really was to have at least 10 persons.
Well,
but it
just
turned,
make it worthwhile.
it turned out to be bigger than that.
Yes.
How big?
I don't judge it from numbers per se. What it created, it showed me that there was a void in our community. There's a void in our nation for the desire for a skill. And here I had a skill. Long ago people used to say they go to needle school. Right? You don't go to needle school anymore.
Right.
Being a TVET teacher, I remember once when the TVET Homework Association, they began by training persons for the CSEC, clothing and textile and so on. So I realized that there is a demand, not just for certification,
Right.
but for an actual skill.
Right.
And that's what I try to offer, a skill, not just the certification. A skill that you can go out and you can even market. Even though I am trained and a bit versatile because I did hospitality, which I could do, but because of the venue, I am limited to clothing.
Okay, so you went to Red Cross and it really took off.
Yes.
And give us an idea as to the kind of people, the type of persons who came and do Cassdressmakers program.
Cassdressmakers, we are not selective. It is my belief that at Cassdressmakers, I don't care how old you are, right? What your qualifications are. I believe that your desire to learn is all I require. And so I'm not limited to say that you have to have a basic knowledge. If you come and you have the desire to learn, so I have taught a wide expanse. I've had persons who are professionals. I have persons who community college, persons who have left college, persons who are unemployed and need a skill so that they can be self-employed. It's not limited. You mean whether I have teachers?
You see, when people hear about dressmaking and hear about sewing, the first thing that they're going to talk about is, I have a daughter who is not working. I have a daughter who has done well in school, or I have somebody who is unemployed. Let me get them into the program. But have you seen your program going beyond this, than people that serving unemployed people, serving people who can't make it in school? What do you see? Yeah.
The thing that separates Cassdressmakers from other persons who may be and other teachers and so on, it's yes. Just a minute. That separate is that I am a trained teacher. I'm not just a seamstress. I am a trained teacher, and I am able to teach, so I can teach a wide variety whether you are capable or not. Just be patient. But the thing that people come to the class and learn is that the old, what you call that? There's this taboo that people have about dressmaking. It is for people. If you can't learn, they learn a skill. And when they come to Cassdressmakers, they realize it requires, I think, some basic knowledge.
Well, we all know that to learn dressmaking, traditionally to learn dressmaking, someone has to go to the home of the dressmaker and spend some time and watch the dressmaker doing some cutting and so forth, and eventually learn from them. So the idea of people coming to do dressmaking because they don't have any other skill or because they're unemployed and so forth. Cassdressmakers go beyond that.
I want the unemployed to come, because when I look back, if I look back at the history of Cassdressmakers, I've seen persons who have attended Cassdressmakers and able to start their own business, successful business.
I've watched the graduation, right? And in the graduation, I've seen lawyers, I've seen police officers,
I've seen, don't forget to mention the males.
I've seen civil servants.
Yes.
I've seen medical doctors. I've seen people of all
Walks
strata
of
of
life.
society
Yes.
coming to the program.
Yes.
What is that saying to you? Because it seems as if the need for dressmaking is not just for employment. Because let's say a lawyer, let's say a doctor, medical doctor, doesn't want employment. What is that saying to you?
I think we have a misconception that once you have, whether it's a government paid job, that you don't need anything else. Cassdressmakers is creating an awareness that regardless to your profession or your status in life, your age, you need a skill. You need a skill.
Right.
So it is not just that skill training just for employment. What I am teaching it in such a way that if persons want to create employment, they can do it. So I'm not just teaching you to make a garment for yourself. I'm teaching you that you can make for you and others. But I think the question you're asking is whether people just want to do it for recreation. Nothing. If I'm to give one advice out there, I'm saying regardless to whether you're a doctor, nurse, police, male or female, in the society where we are living today, this present economy, you need a skill. You need a skill. You need a second source of income. You need a second source of income. I looked, for example, I don't know if I'm brave enough to venture there. I looked at what happened with all the persons who were sent home with the old vaccination thing.
Yes.
I look at the persons who were sent home, and I'm saying I've had past students who, after losing their jobs, were able to be self-sufficient because of the training that they got from me. So I don't want to just limit it to if you're not you need a second source of income. And dressmaking is not just for now. Even when the government retire you, you still have that skill.
But some folks that I see doing the program is not for income. So I guess that the motivation is that they just want to make clothes for themselves. If you notice that the Syrians are not selling much clothes these days, and if you go to the boutiques, and the boutiques are few and far between in Kingston, and if you go to the boutiques, the clothes are very expensive.
When we had the entrance of Syrians, these stores opening in Kingston, it was felt that there would be no need again for dressmakers. But what happened is that you want to be able to create a custom-made garment. When you look at TV and you look at the movie stars, you see the emphasis they place on their custom-made. So you want to be able to make a garment that's just for you. For example, my husband went to a store, right? Let me give the joke about the African shirt.
Okay.
You remember the African shirt?
Okay.
So he was asking for an African shirt, and I could not be bothered. I was busy. So he went into town and he went to a store and he bought his African shirt. And he said, well, I bought my African shirt. And we're driving to town and we saw a lady walking through the market.
A market vendor. In the shirt.
In the shirt. Now, the shirt that you are wearing now, you know that it is one of a kind.
Right.
Nobody else.
Custom made.
It is custom made. It was made for you. It's you, right? And you'll never see a vendor in your shirt. That's what Cass is offering.
Now, let us look at the successes, because from what I've gathered, there are a lot of people who have really moved on from Cassdressmakers into greater things. There are those who have gone into designing. There are those who, from Cassdressmakers, who have become home economics teachers. There are some from Cassdressmakers who have started their own clothes line, and I believe you could call some names.
You see, sometimes I don't like call people names and get their permission. But I'll use this opportunity to congratulate Officer Savon Daniel.
Yes, Savon.
Savon Daniel.
Okay.
Savon was in that first group. After I retired, when I started here, before I went into town, Savon was in that group, and she has built her own line, Sav's Neatly Touched. She is now in the police force, in the tailoring department, and I saw
the police tailor.
Yes, she actually received an award. I saw her this week. So Savon, congratulations! Continue to carry the torch, my girl.
I think you were talking about Solange as well.
Solange.
Yeah.
Wow. Solange, she did it when I was doing it in my basement. And Solange has her own line. So that's another success. What about Lorette?
Yes.
Lorette.
Well, Lorette is doing great.
This where we met at the wedding. She's doing weddings and so on now.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
So I know that there's been transformation. I know that the skill is needed and people are using it, and I'm just happy for the lives. That's why I started by saying I appreciate the fact that persons give us the opportunity to impact impact the lives. I looked at, they had this show, and several of those designers in the SPG, there was a show.
Right.
Came to Cassdressmakers. Like, yes. But
oh, there's some of these girls who made their own garments for beauty shows, and also they have been involved in designing and sewing for beauty contests. Okay, let's talk about the program. Let's talk about the course. If somebody wants to get involved in Cassdressmakers program, tell our audience, what do you have to offer? What does the course have to offer? What can you get by doing this course? Because this course is how long?
Oh,
How long is the course?
This basic course is 3 months.
3 months.
But presently, for persons who have the 3 months and who need to do some extra, coming this month, I'm offering an extra month or 2 based on the needs, person's needs. But for 3 months, let me tell you that with an anecdote. I was standing in lanes one day, and I met this lady who I knew before, and get talking about the program.
Yes.
And she asked, so how long is this? I said 3 months. And she said, anyone can learn to sew in 3 months?
Yeah.
You look at the graduation. We just got the last graduation photos. Those persons made their own garments, right? So the program is 3 months, 2 hours per week.
Yes.
2 hours per week, 3 months.
3 months.
Yes, that's what the basic course.
1 day per week. 2 hours. What can you learn
in 2 hours?
In 2 hours
a week?
Per week.
For 3 months?
Yeah, let the audience know.
Okay, this is what I offer. The first, we are there to learn. All you have to be to come prepared to learn.
Right.
It would be an asset to have a machine at home.
Okay.
I have machines there, but it would be an asset because if you are serious, you will get the tools.
Right.
So, on the first day, the persons think that it's just orientation.
Right.
We start to learn from the first day. So the first session, I do measurements, and listen to me, you're learning to sew my style. Because what I'm teaching, I don't have a book. I don't have a book that I'm teaching from. Because when I trained in St. Lucia, I did home economics at the Salt of Lewis College in St. Lucia. And there I specialized in clothing and textile.
Okay.
But I learned in metric. And I had my books and so on, which were in metric. So I do not teach from a book because I teach an imperial measurement. So I teach you how to take measurements, my style.
Right.
I teach you how to draft. So you don't go and buy a paper pattern, and I'm not teaching you to make a paper pattern. But when I'm finished, you can go and create your own patterns.
Right.
So we do measurements, we do skirts, shirt, dress, and pants.
Okay.
So even though it is called Cassdressmakers, I encourage the males to enroll.
Right.
Yes.
So, it's not just stress.
No. You learn, we do, besides that, there are others. Because I teach a course, all I ask is that, because I'm a born again believer, right? So I hope in a little way to impact some life skills too.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
A little words of encouragement. the significance of clothing in a way, like
Right.
how to choose for you. How to choose for you. Even though you have never used a sewing machine, I can guide you through the sewing machine. One thing you have, all I'm asking anyone who enrolled in Cassdressmakers, you have to be patient. Be patient, I will get you there.
So you're saying that there are folks who came to Cassdressmakers,
Never touch a machine.
never touched a machine, and did not own a machine,
No.
but yet they came through the 3 months
Yes.
successfully.
You notice the ad. You notice the ad that we posted
Right.
with Sonic,
Okay.
right? Sonic is my success story. Sonic was a young lady. She had just graduated from college, community college, and Sonic enrolled in Cassdressmakers. And I remember that very first skirt, this first purple skirt, right? Because she was not accustomed to the machine, and as she was just determined. And when Sonic, you look at her, she made her pants. She made the garments, she bring them. That's a success story.
Right.
All that Sonic came with was the desire to learn and the determination. So when I said to her, Sonic, you have to take out that zip is not done well. He said, I'll do it, and she'll go and do it. And look where Sonic came.
Right.
You know, somebody who did had that thing too. Look at Tia. Tia in the last group.
Right.
Right? When Tia did her homework and she come, and she was always willing to take correction, to do her homework and to learn. I am not saying that if you enroll in the course, people think that if you enroll in the course, it is just easy. It takes a sacrifice in terms of your time and your willingness to learn. And I'll get you there.
Okay, so
Trust me.
so you can learn all these things in 3 months.
3 months.
Okay.
3 months.
Now, someone would say, "Oh, I'm living in Oya, I'm living in Chateaubelair, or I'm living in the Grenadines." I mean, tell me, how has that been?
I cater for that.
Yes.
So what I do is that I offer some flexibility. So if you're from Obia, and some of my real ardent students, success came from North Leeward.
Yes, Chateaubelair.
Chateaubelair and Spring Village.
Okay.
Those success stories.
So with
Yes.
Cassdressmakers, distance is not a problem.
No, because I offer a session from 10 to 12. Then there's a session from 1:30. So you can stay home, prepare the lunch so that the children are taken and come in at 1:30 to 3:30.
Right.
And then there's a session for the persons who are employed from 4:30 to 6:30.
Very good.
And you even have a choice of days because I'm there from Wednesday or Thursday.
Right.
And if you are employed or you have an emergency, you don't have to miss your session. You can just move between, just shift between them.
Yeah, because
Right?
I've noticed that there's some people who've signed up for the
Right.
4:30 course, and sometimes they end up being there for 10 o'clock or 1:30.
Yes. You have something to do you have an emergency, so you are not available from 10 to 12.
Yeah.
You come in at 1:30. Once you sign up for Cassdressmakers, if you want to come the 2 days as long as there's space, no problem. I had a real great time in the last group.
Right.
This group of ladies, the Wednesday morning group,
Yes.
the Wednesday 10 o'clock, with Cheryl and these girls, the ladies, right? They will come and they will spend the whole morning with me. Them first lady, right? And it was just an awesome experience for the interaction, for the friendships that were even formed. I've seen people helping. They learn more when they work together as a team.
Right.
And it's just a...
So when it comes to Cassdressmakers, you're not alone. You can work in teams. You can work at a table. You have tables where 4 or 5 persons can work together, and that is working out well.
Yeah, well, remember, I'm going back to the point that I'm a trained teacher. I have 30-something years of teaching.
Remember last program you had the Mustique Posse. The Mustique Posse.
Oh, you're talking about the league now? Those girls were just, listen to me, those ladies, don't no disrespect of saying girls, these ladies were just awesome to work with.
And those are women who are employed in Mustique, and while they had the vacation, they came and they took the course, and they actually went through the course successfully.
Listen.
Until the tourist season started again.
But you look at those outfits. When I stood there and I look at these outfits, and I know these ladies made these outfits.
Right.
Because I see them as a struggle. I stay on the phone with them as they create these outfits, and I see it is not like we had this saying, we had this one, like Elizabeth had this one, peep in your own bowl.
Right.
Right? In that you're not looking at others. You look, learning is where you started and where you got to. So if you come there and you've never used a machine, and I've gotten you to use a machine, where you know have formed this bond with your machine, that's learning.
Right.
If you learn to make your skater skirt, go out and make skater skirt.
Right.
Look at Beckway.
Yeah.
I actually had persons in this group and the group before who journeyed every week from Beckway.
Right. Came on an 8 o'clock boat and go
Yes,
back on the
and go back.
on the 12:30 boat, 1:30.
That is commitment.
Right.
And it's sometimes, listen, what I'm doing is, I'm not saying it is easy. I treat it like as a ministry. And I realize that there are persons who have a genuine desire to learn a skill.
Right.
And we tend to wait on other people to do it. Everything we feel, oh, it must be government oriented. Instead of saying, what can I do to make a difference? Because that is how I started. That is how I started to share the skill. I move into this community, and my aim was, I move into the community, I must make a difference.
Okay.
And that's the whole
Okay. So let's talk about the upcoming course. The upcoming course would begin in January this month, from the 11th and the 12th, right?
Yes.
Good. So this new course is from the reason why we say 11th and 12th is that there are those who would be signed up, who have signed up for the 11th, Wednesday 11th, and there are those who signed up for Thursday the 12th.
Yes.
Good. So the course is going to start. The new course is going to start the 11th and the 12th, and also there is extension course. Tell us about the extension course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like when I was at Red Cross, I was sort of limited because I only had this one slot. It was just for the one afternoon. Now that I have a venue, which I've rented,
Right.
now I am available. So there are persons, there are other styles. Because remember, I'm not teaching you paper pattern, I'm teaching you to draft your patterns. And there are other styles that I still feel that people would benefit from, that we did not cover in the 3 months. For example, in the last group,
Right.
we did like our lap dress. We did our shirts on tops of a yoke, with a
Right.
standing collar, different colors, like a cowl neck, and these other things that I think people can benefit from,
Right.
that we could not cover in the 3 months. In the 3 months, we did our straight skirts, we did pockets, we did our circular flares, skater skirts, we did our shirt, we did at least 2 collars, we did our straight dress. But if you have a desire, even though you did Cassdressmakers before,
Right.
and you feel that you want to just to a refresher, I'm offering that on Mondays,
Okay.
and I still have the 3 sessions.
So there are those persons who have done the course already.
Yes. So even if you did
Yeah.
it before
Right.
and you want a refresher,
Yes. Like a touch
I'm
up.
offering. Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Good, good. Tell us, how can you get signed up to this course?
There's a link online.
Okay, there is a
Yes.
link
So
online.
you can upload it.
You
put
can
it on this.
you can WhatsApp us, WhatsApp Cassdressmakers at 455-4821. You can WhatsApp.
455-4821.
Yes, WhatsApp us at 455-4821.
Yes.
And you can get the link. The link is Cassdressmakers.com. www.cassdressmakers.com. Easy. Cassdressmakers.com.
Persons have been inquiring because our offices close for the Christmas break.
Right?
So there's like $10 registration fee, but no problem. You can, whatever payment can be done on the first day of class.
Right.
So there's no panic on the first day of class. We can do the final, and registration is open until the first day of class. So if you're not comfortable online, you walk in.
And where are you located? Where can persons find you?
Cassdressmakers is located in the Llewellyn's building, the 2nd floor of the Llewellyn's building, McCoy Street, Kingston.
Next to
Brewster's,
Auto Supplies.
just across from sanitation.
And you could even say the road that the Leeward buses enter into Kingston. Right, the Leeward buses enter into that road, that street, yeah, McCoy Street, along the river. Is that
Yes.
North River Road, along the river? Right,
Yeah.
across the river. North River, yeah.
Before we go, I just want to encourage persons to make use of this opportunity. Shakespeare says there are 4 things that come back, and one of those is a neglected opportunity. Cassdressmakers. Here I have created something that is different. Who knows, one day I'll publish. One day I'll document them and I'll publish, right? But at present, there is not a book that I can recommend you because, as I said, I studied in metric. And persons are not going. Metric is kind of complicated.
So you've created your own material, your own notes.
Yes.
Right.
And they simplify it. For example, when I studied in St. Lucia, I spent a whole semester learning how to draft a pants.
Right.
Now, I am using one session. In one session, the ladies look at the pants on that as they walk across that stage.
That's right.
So I want to encourage persons. Sometimes we tend to delay, we tend to procrastinate. I will do it the next time. I will do it the next class. This is an opportunity that may never come back.
And you may not be always be wrong.
No, but I would want to enjoy my youth a little longer.
No, who knows? Who knows? You might run for politics and be a minister of government, and you might not be wrong. You might not be available.
Don't go there. My desire is not for politics. My desire is to impact lives, to make a difference. I've seen persons who have a skill and who decide, I'm not sharing my skill. People would take away my job. I have actually stopped doing dressmaking. And when persons come to me to make a garment, I recommend them to persons who have learned. Look at this day we were going into town. When we were going in and we passing at the tarmac.
Yeah.
And this lady, this well-dressed professional lady, that's Sandra came out. Sandra came out, well-dressed, and I know that Sandra. And when I look at that transformation in 3 months,
right, 3 months,
that alone for me is fulfilling. It's fulfilling. And you know the thing with Cassdressmakers, we sit too long, as you bring in the word, we sit too long and wait for somebody else to do it. Some politician, somebody to fund. Cassdressmakers is not funded, eh? Cassdressmakers is not funded.
Yeah.
It is not funded.
Yeah. So folks, you've heard it from Cass. She has outlined to you what the program is about. The program is a 3 months program. In that 3 months program, you can learn how to draft and sew a skirt, several skirts, dresses, shirts and blouse, pants. You can learn all these things in 3 months. Believe it. There are hundreds of women out there who can testify that this is so.
I just want to shout out some of my past students. Orica!
Oh, yes.
I normally don't call my students some of them by names. I have them like, so I will say who is the pastor. So there are students who impact me because I see the progress. I saw the fear, and then I saw the creation. Orica
is there.
Orica is there. Good day, right? Hayden, King, who did this course with me before Gabriel.
Yes.
And you know,
they can testify of how successful Cassdressmakers has been.
Listen, when I look at Orica and her friend sitting there, you read on their faces, what are we doing here? Right? And I looked when I was standing on the platform when they walk across, and my friend was standing next to me, and did you that? She was wearing a pants thing, and said, she made that? And I know she made it because she cut it right in front of me. So I know that, and you should see the, as I beam with pride. There are some things that you may need. I see Rafi on. Rafi, please come and collect that curve, because persons are expecting the curves in the next session.
So basically, you need the curves. 2 curves, the hip curve and the sleeve curve, right?
We will be offering those.
2 curves, you can get them at Cassdressmakers.
Yes.
You would need, at the first course, you might need a piece of cloth for your
You always you always need fabric. Hi Sophie, you always need fabric. And here, not having fabric is not an excuse.
Right.
You see the sheet you took off the bed because the inside is worn? You use it.
Right.
Look at when these people make the garments they were made from sheeting. You see Miss, there's this lady from North Leeward whose dress, she deserved an award for neatness. That was sheeting. You couldn't tell her that's sheeting. Perfect. You know this, what I'm talking about, right? It was perfect, subtle, and I think.
Right.
The sheeting, it was well made. But so you always bring fabric to class. Bring the sheet. You see the curtain, you take on the bedroom curtain, that one, bring that. and we'll create it. Before you go, I just want to leave one verse.
Yeah.
I think it's 3 John 2. As we enter 2023, I want to encourage those who are watching and listening to us tonight. Here is an opportunity for you to take charge of your life. For you not to sit down and wait on somebody to make a difference, but for you to take control of your life. It starts with the first step: learn a skill. If you are employed, you cannot survive in St. Vincent without a second source of employment. If you don't believe me, watch the price of cooking oil. I have to get that in. So, and if you're not employed, you need to be self-employed. Learn a skill. And I say, as in 3 John 2, beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in good health, even as thy soul prospereth. So for 2023, for all our listeners, for our past students, for our prospective students, I wish for you to be in good health. I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper, be in good health, even as thy soul prospereth. My grandmother would say, what can I wish you more? See you 12th. Open. If you can't make it online, you give me a call, 455-4821. And I say again, thank you for all those who have been able to uphold my hand, because I could not do it alone, who uphold my hand and help me to make a difference. Thank you for those who have allowed me to impact their lives and make a difference. Thank you for those prospective students who will give me that opportunity. Happy New Year.
Okay, you've heard it. Cassdressmakers Academy is not a gimmick. It's real. And there are hundreds of women and men in St. Vincent who can testify of how successful this program has been and how success they have been in this program.
Sophie's asking a question.
Yeah. And I want you to, if you wish to take this course, get a pen and paper right now and write down the link to the course. The link is www.Cassdressmakers, Cassdressmakers.com. So www.Cassdressmakers.com. If you go online and you type in that address, it's going to take you straight into the registration page, and you can register for our new course that begins on the 11th and the 12th of January. So, somebody have a question?
Yes, Ingrid has a brand new sewing machine and I don't know where and how to start use it. Ingrid, let me tell you, sign up for Cassdressmakers. And a time is there to suit you, and I will get you using it and making your own garment. Sophia, we are located in the Rollins building, McCoy Street, Kingston. And the price is good.
Right.
Because remember, we are not funded, and it's $10 registration. It's $150 per month. You cannot get a skill. You know, understand that. Good night, Tikoya. Tikoya, I'm sorry you're not in St. Vincent. You would have been learning that skill. There's a time for everyone. Make use of this opportunity. God bless you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have somebody, if you would like to do the course, please sign up now before the registration is closed. And if you have somebody who can do the course, please sign them up. In fact, we have gift vouchers. If you wish to give somebody as a New Year gift, a gift voucher, you just call us and buy a gift voucher for us. That would be a very nice New Year's gift for a daughter or a girlfriend or a boyfriend.
But I've had
a mother, somebody.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a nice. So if you wish to give somebody, you want to finance somebody through the course, call us and get a gift voucher from us. So God bless you all.
Good night.
Good night. Have a wonderful and prosperous 2023. God bless you.